Hey Florida travelers, Krista here, and are you planning a trip to Florida and wondering if you should squeeze in a day trip to St. Augustine? Well, my quick answer is yes, definitely. And in today's video, I'm going to go over exactly why you should add in the ancient city into your Florida itinerary. St. Augustine is located on the east coast of Florida between Jacksonville and Daytona Beach, which makes it an easy trip for anyone who is visiting either Jacksonville, Daytona, or even the theme parks in Orlando. If you are looking to stay the night, there are tons of accommodations in the area. I highly recommend staying in the historic district next to St. George Street if you want the most convenient area. There are several different hotels and Airbnbs sprinkled throughout the historic district, so I'm sure you won't have a difficult time finding one within your price range. One of the best ways to get around St. Augustine is by taking one of the trolleys. The two main ones that you'll come across are going to be the Old Town Trolley Tours and Ripley's Red Train Tours. Both of them are hop on, hop off and have several stops all along the city. When we were touring the city, we took the Old Town Trolley Tour and just loved it. It's not just a trolley that takes you around the city. The guides that drive you around are phenomenal and give you all sorts of facts and historical information. They do have a main station that is located just a short walk from the historic downtown parking facility. Definitely make sure that you ride the entire route. You'll get an overview of all of the sights to see, and you can hop off if you find anything to be interesting. If you are driving into St. Augustine and not wanting to stay the night, I highly recommend getting there as early as possible and parking the car in one of the all-day flat fee parking lots. Parking in the historic district can get a bit more difficult as the day goes on, and everything is pretty accessible by trolley or by walking. If you love historic landmarks, then the first place that I recommend you checking out is the Castillo de San Marcos. It's one of the most popular attractions in St. Augustine, and with the limited capacity, the wait into the Castillo can get really long. I mean, hours long. When we visited on a Saturday, the wait was about 2.5 hours around noon. So if you do want to skip the crowds, I recommend getting to this one first and early. The Castillo de San Marcos is the oldest masonry fort in the US and was built by the Spanish and completed in 1695. The Castillo has a rich history that is deeply rooted in St. Augustine, and I think it is absolutely a must in your itinerary. Just a short walk from the Castillo is the very first Ripley's Believe It or Not, also known as the Castle. This historic house was built by William G. Worden in 1887 and was visited by Ripley several times during its short duration as a hotel. I just recently did a complete overview of this Ripley's, so if you missed that video and want to get more detailed look, I'll plug that one in right here. During our last visit, after we saw the Ripley Museum, we walked straight over to the Fountain of Youth. You can also take the trolley, which will drop you right off at the front, but we found it was just a short 15 to 20 minute walk away. The Fountain of Youth is located on beautiful Magnolia Avenue, which has been named one of the 10 most beautiful streets in the US by the National Geographic. The Fountain of Youth doesn't just hold the Fountain of Youth, but a whole archaeological park near where Ponce de Leon was said to land. In my last video, I did take an in-depth look at the Fountain of Youth, so if you missed that as well, I'll plug that one up above. Fuego! When heading back to the historic district, make sure that you walk through the old city gates. These gates were once the only entrance into St. Augustine. These two columns are made of stone and were built in 1808, and you can still see part of the original wall still standing near the gates. After walking through the gates, you'll walk right into St. George Street and the historic district. St. George Street is a fully pedestrian road that you can walk all the way to the Plaza. St. George Street is overflowing with unique shops, restaurants, and other historic attractions like the oldest wooden schoolhouse built over 200 years ago. You'll want to reserve some time to walk around this area because there is just so much to see. Not only is there a bunch of delicious cafes and restaurants, but there's also a number of locally owned shops as well. After you've ventured through all the shops and grabbed something to eat in St. Augustine, don't forget to make your way to the Lightner Museum. This beautiful building was built in 1888 and holds 19th and early century fine art. If you visit during the Night of Lights, which is November through the end of January, the Lightner Museum is one of my favorite light displays. It's absolutely stunning and the architecture of the building is just beautiful. Right across the street from the Lightner Museum is Flagler College, which is housed in what once was one of Henry Flagler's most opulent hotels. This beautiful hotel was built in 1887, and everyone from royalty, presidents, and celebrities have stayed here. If you take the tour, you'll be able to see the largest collection of Tiffany stained glass. They have over 79 windows decorated in the dining hall, and they usually give guided tours at the castle, but unfortunately this is currently canceled until further notice due to COVID. Walking back from Flagler College and you'll come across the Plaza de la Constitucion. The plaza is the central park in downtown St. Augustine and has an open air market that has been in use since the 1500s. We of course came during the Night of Lights, and it's a beautiful, magnificent display of lights in this plaza area. From here, you can either grab dinner in the historic district, and if you're a foodie and enjoy fine dining, then I highly recommend the restaurant Collage. My husband and I ate here the last time that we visited, and it was absolutely delicious. There are so many other things that you can do and see during your trip to St. Augustine, and this video is literally just scratching the surface of all of the attractions that you'll come across here. But if you're only spending the day, this itinerary would be doable without having to jam-pack it so much where it becomes stressful. Well, I hope that you found this information helpful, and if you did, you can help out my channel by hitting that like button or subscribing. I release a new video every week, and the best way to be able to see it is by subscribing. If you would love another day trip idea, make sure that you check out this video about Smyrna Dunes Park. It's a park located just north of New Smyrna Beach, and guess what? It's dog friendly. Well, until next time everyone, I hope you have an amazing day and go out and enjoy some Florida sunshine.